recording this. Okay. So somebody still has talking in the background. You've got to get it. You've got to get them to stop. What I'm trying to make you understand is this is a classroom, and I'd like to be able to have all of you able to ask.
You guys talk.
I'd like to be able to have all of you ask me questions as we go through what we do tonight. The only way that that's going to work is if I have you guys unmuted. I don't know whether your other instructors unmute you. I've been told that a lot do not. I really do want to unmute you, and I want to be able to have you ask me questions on the fly so that it is more like an intimate kind of a class between us instead of something where you've got to text me stuff. I would prefer to make it feel more like a class, and the only way I can do that is to get you guys unmuted so that you can ask me a question. So all I'm saying is, for the future, remember this and try to make sure whatever you do, you're in an environment where I can unmute you and then you don't have stuff going on. Does everybody understand that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, now listen to me carefully. I want to very quickly go through the list of people. Adam, you're first. Say hello to everybody and quickly tell us a little something about yourself. Very quickly.
Hey guys, how you doing? Something about myself.
Doesn't matter. Where do you live?
Horn Lake, Mississippi.
You're in Mississippi. Do you know any of these other students?
Alicia, Jesse, Sally. I'm not sure who else is in the class right now though.
Okay, so some of these.
You know me.
Oh, hey, how you doing?
It's DJ.
DJ, how you doing? Okay, so you know a few of these students. So I would imagine that all of you know each other a little tiny bit, right?
What?
You want to be part of class T.
That's the problem. We can't have that. You've got to get the child quiet. You maybe have them go in another room while you're in the class, or you go in another room. Who is that? Whose child is that? We've got to stop it because, again, it's just disrupting the class, and I don't want to shut you off. I'm trying to be nice about this, but the bottom line is, if it's quiet, this will work. If it's not quiet, it won't work, and I do want it to work. Alicia, let me hear.
Hey,
okay, so how are you, and where are you located, Alicia? You're.
I'm in Springfield, Illinois, and I've got a really bad cold.
Oh, you don't feel too good, huh?
And this is my first time trying to do 2 classes and my career job.
Okay. So have you taken classes before? Is this your first class?
No, I've been taking classes since January, but I was unemployed.
Okay. Are you feeling good enough to be able to go through the process?
I will try and hit the mute button before I go through another coughing fit.
Okay. Okay, I understand. That's fine. I'm just, the point that I'm trying to make is I could make this so easy by just muting everybody, but then the problem is you're not going to be able to ask me a question and it won't feel like a class. So I really want to make this work so that we can ultimately feel like we're in a classroom and we're really sharing this experience. I think it's a much better way to go. So the next person is DJ. Would you quickly say something? I see you're muted, so you must have a background problem. So just say hello to us real quickly.
No, I was just trying to keep the noise down to a minimum.
Okay.
I'm in what they call lower middle Tennessee, little podunk town. We've got maybe 3,000 people.
Yep.
And I actually have Amish neighbors.
Oh, how nice.
But I grew up in Oregon, and I've been a military wife. I've been military and civil service and all that. So I'm the grandma of everybody.
Thank you very much for being in the military for us.
It was my pleasure. I enjoyed the heck out of it. I couldn't afford college, so I went in the military.
Well, you served us all. Thank you.
I was the first female aircraft electrician in the Army.
Wow. Ha! Great. Wow. Cool.
I pity the people that came after me because I'm 6 feet tall.
Really? Oh, my goodness. Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Are you looking forward to this class? Have you had classes already?
Oh, yeah. Alicia, me, Jesse, Adam, Sally, we've all been I think all of us that are online right now have been in class together since
Okay, so
January.
you have a support system, people that you know each other.
Yes.
Oh, that's wonderful. Okay,
Yeah, we're
good.
rebels like that.
Good. That's great. Emmy, how about you?
Yeah, sorry. In the middle of eating dinner.
It's okay.
I'm in Columbus, Ohio. Used to be in Waverly, Tennessee, and
Mhm.
before that, Marlboro, New Jersey.
Oh, you're from New Jersey as well.
Yes, I'm a Jersey girl.
I'm from New Jersey. That's where I am right now, as a matter of fact.
I could tell by the 908 area code.
Ah, there you go. Okay, good.
I could tell by the accent.
Oh, really? So I do have a Jersey accent, huh?
Yeah, kinda.
All right. Jesse,
Yeah, what's up, bud?
how are you?
Oh, I'm doing all right.
And this is Jesse Blackham, sorry. Where are you located?
Well, right now I live in St. Albans, West Virginia, but I'm originally from Price, Utah.
Okay, and you do have a southern accent, by the way. And have you had classes before here?
Oh, yeah, with everybody that's in this class so far.
Oh, good. Okay, so you know people, and what classes have you had, quickly?
A lot.
Yeah.
I couldn't name them all for you right now. I mean,
Oh, okay.
I don't understand why they do half the stuff they do. Like, they take you from an advanced class, put you in easy class, and vice versa.
Are you coming from advanced classes into an easy class?
Well, they put us in advanced classes with Mr. Powers, and then they take us and they put us in easy classes, and then they
Were these graphic design classes that you moved out of into this?
Yes.
It was all graphic design. Like, they would take us from doing advanced projects to, okay, you're back to the basics now. And so it kind of screwed me up.
That I don't quite understand. But anyway, what you're going to be learning in this class, you're going to be learning about production techniques, which, although they are listed as advanced, they are essential to what you need to know as a graphic designer. So it's a very serious class. And I don't particularly think it's that difficult, but I think you just have to get to know, the ideas behind it. And for Alicia, most of you did color wheels in first grade. That might be true, but what we're doing here is we're going to start by talking about basic color. We're going to take a look at Cooler, which is one of the assignments for you to take a look at Cooler. And then we're going to be working on color modes for our projects. And the color modes that we're going to be focusing on here are CMYK and Pantone color modes, which I know you didn't learn in first grade. So
No, but we learned them last mod.
Oh, you did? Okay, so then you should have a good idea of how to do this. And what I'm going to be showing you is how to modify your Adobe Illustrator files so that you can correctly indicate color that you can then export into your InDesign project, which would be a brochure, which you're going to do, and a business card, which you're going to do. So
Okay, I have
those
a question.
are things that we're going to be dealing with here.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
On the business card, okay, you just going after the colors on the business card?
It's going to
Or
be
can we improve our old business card?
Pantone colors. This is a Pantone project. So the idea behind the business card will be to convert the colors into Pantone correctly so that the printer will be able to print them as individual spot colors, not four-color process.
Okay, but can we use our original cards to do this?
No, we're going to produce a fictitious card.
Okay.
Yeah. Jesse,
Yeah.
Jesse, Pantone is a technique. I kind of got the jump on you guys.
Yeah.
I've already done the quiz and I've already done a bunch of the reading.
Good.
Pantone is a technique, not just a specific type of color.
Right.
It's a technique.
She's right.
So-
Who is this speaking?
This is CJ, the smart ass.
TJ. Okay, there you go. I'm not used
you'll be all right.
I'm not used to you guys yet.
Oh, I feel so sorry for you.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
You got all the troublemakers online right now.
I don't know. You all sound fairly nice to me. I don't know.
You've only just
I
met us.
haven't read all the the chatting, there might be some nasty stuff going on in the chatting that I haven't caught yet. But
I haven't touched my keyboard yet.
no, well, there's a lot.
Once I start talking about that, that's bad.
There's a lot of stuff going on in there, but I kind of prefer the interaction as we're doing right now. So, okay, so let's see. Did I miss anybody? Sally, did you?
Sally.
Oh, no, I'm the quiet one. I stay in the corner and stay out of trouble.
Sally, you're not in trouble. Come out of the corner.
What's the deal with you, Sally? Where are you located?
I'm in West Virginia right now. I actually kind of live in Kentucky, but
It's a miserable place, huh?
everywhere is miserable. Oh my God, are you kidding?
Yeah.
If I can't stay out of the heat, I am miserable.
Yeah, it's very nasty where I am too right now. Very humid.
Yeah. I'm like,
One more very quick question: does any of you not like graphic design?
oh my God, that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't
I really hate the different teachers, but other than that, it's good.
Oh my God, the last one?
the
Oh,
teachers
I
she
could have
did
killed
that.
her. I
Thank
did not
Thank
even
you.
attend. I did
You
not
know
even attend a live session because of that she was teaching.
I just turned it on and walked away.
Have any of
probably
you had teachers that allowed you to speak in their live sessions?
They give you the
No. Actually, she did the first day of class,
That was it.
and she was so obnoxious, I could not stand her, and so I did not attend class no more. I just watched the recorded sessions.
Uh-huh.
I wonder if I'm thinking about the same person.
She did 2 hours of class, and you couldn't understand anything because she's bouncing from one subject to another.
And then she would teach, she would do everything on the screen and keep talking, and then somebody's phone would ring or something, and she would get off on another subject, and their phone rings, oh my God, it was such a funny ring, and la la la, and keep doing what she's
Sounds
doing.
like a spaceship.
Like, all right, let's start on this project, but let me show you this first, and then 2 hours later, come back to the project.
Exactly.
Hey,
And
Adam.
then the very
We're
You know what's bad? Is
Well, I
when-
promise you I won't be doing that. I promise
Please,
you I will not be
thank
doing
you, God.
that. And what we're going to be doing is right now, it's 8:17. We're going to play around till about 8:20, just having this informal get together to kind of get used to each other. My name is Bill Sweeney, just so that you know.
Bill, tell us about yourself.
Bill?
I have been a graphic designer for I'm ashamed to tell you how long. It would really date me. And
You know what?
Please, I'm older than you
I
are.
am a very old man. Let's put it that way.
Wouldn't
My
say-
God.
Oh, please, I'm older than you are.
Oh, I
Please, my
doubt-
children are cavemen.
yeah, so are my children, actually.
I'm not you guys. I'm a young fish.
Yeah.
Same here,
Yeah,
buddy.
But anyway, I've been
hear
doing
ya.
this for a very long time, and I was completely self-taught, and it was very difficult to learn all this by myself. So one of the things I will tell you is try to be tolerant of your teachers, because they are, I'm sure, all trying very hard to help you. Each one of them has their own personality. They have their own way of doing it. I tend to be I try to be informal and yet formal at the same time. I mean, once we get started doing the actual demonstrations, which I'm going to be mostly doing because we only meet the one night, I'm going to actually walk you through a lot of an explanation of the program which we're dealing with. In the case of tonight, we're going to be dealing with Adobe Illustrator. So I'd like to get an assessment from you of what you know about Illustrator, and I hope that I would be able to share with you some things that will actually make you better at dealing with Adobe Illustrator. I personally think that I want to recommend you really do learn Adobe Illustrator. It is an absolutely incredible program that is very valuable and will be very valuable to you in the future. So, you know, that is my goal here, is to focus as much as possible on Illustrator. And then the other thing we're going to be talking about a little bit is InDesign, because we will actually be working with InDesign. So at any rate, we will be working primarily with Illustrator and InDesign in this particular program. And I find that a lot of students tend to kind of shy away from Adobe Illustrator. How do you guys feel about Adobe Illustrator?
I love it.
I think it's fun.
I like Illustrator a lot.
Good. So you actually work with it?
Yes.
Can I
Yes.
work with this?
The only one I've been having trouble with is InDesign.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
only
not familiar
because
with
I
that one
just
either.
learned it last mod and I wasn't taught very properly.
Okay. Well, we'll see
Yeah,
if I
she
can
was
get
not
you,
very helpful.
If you want.
Yeah, and the other thing too is that if you run into what I've done, I've actually recorded some of the steps. Yeah, I don't know whether you've gone in and taken a look at my my YouTube site, but I do have a YouTube site, and I have a bunch of videos that I've done in there, and many of these videos relate to this course. So you could even go in there and check it out. But I would wait until we get rolling to go in and check them out. I did send you. I assume everybody's gotten my emails.
I
Yes.
have not.
Which ones?
I haven't
sent
checked them
two
just yet.
emails. I sent two
Mr.
emails.
Well,
One-
Mr. Sweeney, you and I talked on the phone before class.
Yeah, this
I'm
is,
the one that
hold
called.
on, this is Sally, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Sally, let me explain to you. What the email said, and this is for the benefit of every one of you, including those who are not here who are going to listen to this recording. I have loaded up announcements. There are a bunch of announcements in there.
Right, I read them.
On many of the announcements, there are attachments, which I think will help you greatly with what you have to do this week. So one of the things you're going to want to do is go in and check out my announcements, take a look at all of my attachments, and download as many of them as you feel you need to. You probably should look at them all at least and download them all at least and check them out and read what the individual announcement says about the particular announcements, because they're different announcements for different purposes. So I would like you to do that. That's what one of the email was about. The other email I sent was to tell you, to notify you that they changed the discussion topic for week 1. Now, if any of you, and this goes for those of you listening on recorded version, if any of you have already gone in and started your initial discussion, I will accept that initial discussion. But you need to read and understand the discussion, which basically is there's an area of videos that they want you to check out. And you're going to use your discussion to discuss the videos and how you feel they helped you with your work. So does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So any questions with any of this so far?
Nope,
Okay.
I'm good.
So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start off by dragging this thing open. So here's what it says here. This is basically taken right out of the site. Discussion, color resources. This week you're going to refer to the graphic arts video or the video library videos in the week 1's reading and tools. After watching the videos for the week, please answer the following questions. So there's the questions that they're going to ask you to deal with in your first week discussion. Not the question that was there before. For those of you who have already done that initial discussion, I will accept it. Okay? You have, Deborah, you'll have to watch the recorded session, okay? So you're going to answer those 3 questions for your discussion, all right? Now, the assignment. Let's quickly take a look at the assignment. Color wheel and exploration. What does that mean? There's going to be a color wheel that I'm going to ask you to build. I'm going to explain the whole thing, and I'm going to show you how I made mine. And yes, you get to talk in this mod as long as everybody is cool and under control. So we're going to actually.
So what if we turn into rebels? You mute us?
We could do that.
All right, so you're going to be building this color wheel with colors. I'm going to show you how I did mine, and really, you only have to do something very similar to mine. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take your original, and you're going to demonstrate a couple of color relationships. The color relationships that you're going to show are primary colors, secondary colors, tertiary colors, and complementary colors. And I'm going to basically show you how I did mine. So by the time I get done demonstrating this whole thing tonight, you should have a pretty good idea of how you could go about doing this. Now, I don't necessarily mean that I want you to copy mine verbatim, but I would not feel bad if you did something very similar to mine. The bottom line is I'd like to see creativity out of you, but as well as seeing creativity, I want to see something that's appropriate for the project. So don't come back with something that's a color wheel that's so far out of the scope of what it is that it doesn't make any sense. I just ask you to, use some common sense when you do this. The colors need to be labeled, use color names, and make some sort of a geometrical shape. Okay? It says you can use any Adobe Creative Suite program to build your color wheel. I would prefer it very much if you do not do that. I would prefer it if you build this in Adobe Illustrator. I'm going to demonstrate this in Illustrator, and I am the type of person that believes you should do your assignments in the appropriate program. This program is appropriately done in Adobe Illustrator. So if you would please, humor me and do it in Adobe Illustrator, I would appreciate it greatly. Okay? There are some examples that you can look at beyond mine, but you're going to see me demonstrate this shortly. So the second part of this is a color exploration. You're going to use, again, Adobe Illustrator, and you're going to create a geometric design. Now, this geometric design, I want you to be creative. I want you to think creatively. I'm going to show you how I did mine, and I'm going to explain to you why I did what I did. I was trying to be creative. You might say, well, you're a dumb idiot, but I at least tried.
I guess that's a matter of opinion from everybody, huh?
There you go.
That's right.
Just make sure that you understand that the final size should be 8 by 8, and you should have one page for each color scheme. Now, do you guys know enough about Illustrator to know that there are individual artboards available to you in Adobe Illustrator?
Yes.
Multiple artboards?
do.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so here's the
We do.
Okay, so if you guys know this, then all you should have to do is create 1 or 2 documents. One document for part 1, right here, the color wheel, and one document for part 2, and you need tertiary, analogous, and tertiary and complementary. So that means that you're going to have 3 different artboards for that one, and for this one, you've got the regular color wheel, and then a primary, secondary, tertiary, and complementary. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for that. And then if you export both of them, you should end up with 2 PDFs that have multiple pages on it.
Do people know that we actually work?
What?
So does the teachers realize that people actually work?
Sometimes I don't think they do.
Well,
the color wheel is not going to be very hard.
No, but if you have like
I don't
12,
really think
12
anything-
artboards.
But here's the deal.
There's only 3.
You guys are graphic designers. I want you to try to have fun with this. That's part of the, if you are having fun as a graphic designer, people are going to know it. And that is what's going to make your work look good. The people that don't enjoy what they're doing generally don't come out with nice results because they don't really like what they're doing.
I think he's really going to like us, class, because we do have fun.
Well, that's the key. I really want you to have fun. I also want you to be realistic about this. I mean, these assignments, even though this particular assignment might be a little bit more theoretical, the brochure that you're going to do, the trifold brochure that you're going to do, and the business card that you're going to do is not at all theoretical. I mean, these are both real world projects, and that's why I want you to understand when you do these projects, you should do them in a real world way. You have to realize that you're submitting work to printers, and the printers need the work to be submitted in a certain way. So part of the project is to make sure that you submit these properly. That's my job, to teach you how to do that, if you don't already know. If you know, great, but you'll still hear me do it. You'll still see me demonstrate it. So that's where we're heading with this. And any questions about this? That's your assignment, okay? And the assessment is you're going to have a quiz on color. You're going to read the article on color found in Reading and Lectures, and you're going to answer the questions, right? They're really only 6 questions. They're not very difficult questions.
There's 7.
7, sorry.
What are the answers?
7 questions. Yeah, I'm going to close that.
I'll give you a big clue. Keep that page open when you're doing the quiz, because when they get to Pantone, you have to explain about the Pantone color process. And it's cheated.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, if you keep the book open, absolutely keep the book open. What I generally do, I'll give you a little way to cheat at this. I generally, what I do is I go in and I copy and paste the quiz onto into a Word document, and then I go find the answers and I fill the answers in. So, I mean, if you want to try doing that, go ahead. But and
I leave the page open. It's easier.
okay, well, there you go.
Yeah, I do the same
There's
thing.
another way. There's another
I
way
read
that you can do this.
Take notes, and then I keep the page open.
There's another option for you. When you do it, open up Firefox, and if you need to ask a question, ask the question into Firefox, and it will come up with a bunch of links that will give you an appropriate answer. But believe me, I'm not the most difficult person. If you give me the answer correct, I'm going to accept it. I'm not looking to fail you. I'm looking to let you pass. So I'll do everything in my power to make sure that you guys get what you need to get through the class. Okay? So any questions about anything that we covered so far? Any comments, anything before I move on? We good?
Nope. So we're basically doing one artboard per number point on that page, right?
Yeah, there's two parts to the project. You'll see them
Well,
both.
could we do one artboard like that third example, and have like one big color wheel that's got the multiple?
Well, I would say probably the best way to do it is to create, and this is how I did it. I'm going to show you this in a minute. I created my initial color wheel, and then I worked out a mechanism, a way of creating a representation of the individual color relationships using a duplicate copy of the original color wheel. I'm going to show you how I did it, and that might give you the exact answer that you're looking for. Okay? So let me have a chance to get this thing open. It's already 8:32, and I want to make sure I get through both of these lessons. So if you'll give me a minute, I'm going to open up Illustrator. So here's Illustrator, all right? There is my initial color wheel. That's what you're going to create. Something very much like this, okay? Now, I have the swatches panel out. See it?
Mm-hmm.
You guys all familiar with the swatches panel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, so I'm just going to quickly demonstrate something. I'm going to go File, New, open up a new document. I'm not going to change anything. I'm just going to throw a document out there. New. Boom. There it is. Take a look at the swatches palette. Does it look really any different than that swatches palette? Tiny bit, but not really much, right? See the swatches palette?
Different color sets, but yeah.
Okay. So here's the deal. This is the very first thing that I want to teach you about production. All this is garbage. You don't want any of this. This is just whenever you open up a project, look, there it is. You get this color. This color don't mean anything to anybody. It's just a lot of colors that they put in there to make it look good. So and I'm going to close this because I don't need it. I'm going to go back to my original. Okay. So you can see what I did here was I did not change this. So what I want to demonstrate is the proper way for a graphic designer. Now remember, we're not just playing with the program anymore. We are trying to behave and organize ourselves as a graphic designer would organize themselves. So the first thing that I'm going to do with this is I'm opening up my swatches panel, and you guys know where the panels are, right? Under window?
Yep.
Okay. So you know that we have a little drop-down menu here, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You see where it says select all unused? See where I'm sitting?
Yes.
It's kind of off the page, but yeah, I get the idea where it is.
All right, I'll move it over. I'm going to show you now.
Click full screen.
There you go. All
Okay.
right.
Select all unused. I click it, and you see how everything highlights?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm going to hit delete. Delete the swatch selections. Yes. Boom. And it's gone.
Yeah.
Okay? So all those colors are gone. They don't mean anything.
Hey, go back to how you deleted all selected. I missed that. I must have looked away or something.
No, it's right here. You're going to click on the pop-up menu for the swatches panel, and you're going to select all unused right there.
Uh-huh.
And it selects them all. See how they highlight?
Yeah.
Okay. And hit the garbage can to throw them all away.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
Those
I know
colors,
what.
they have those.
I know how I missed it.
Those colors have nothing to do with this. Now,
Right.
one leftover color here, I'm going to hit delete on that and delete this. Okay, so as a graphic designer, what I recommend that you always do when you're working in Adobe Illustrator is to do this. What you're left with are 4 colors that you cannot throw away. These 4 colors you can't really throw away. The
Because
colors,
they're not colors.
they're none, they're registration, white, and black. So those 4 colors are always going to be there. So now what I want to do is I want to put the colors that I'm working with, which are the colors right there, I want to put them into my swatches panel. And I do that by clicking them. Now these things are grouped. So I have a choice. I can either go object ungroup, okay, which I'm not going to do, by the way, or I could come over here to the direct selection tool and I can come over to the tear off. You guys familiar with the tear off? You ever heard of the tear off?
No.
Yeah, well, there's that little bar there. It's called the tear off. And if I click on it, it actually brings the tools out. So you have the direct selection tool and what's known as the group selection tool. The group selection tool is what I'm going to use to select each one of these individual cells that have the color in it. So I click on the group selection tool and I'm going to click on the red. Now notice that I have a stroke and a fill, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that means that there's a stroke of gray and a fill of red on that little cell right there. Everybody see that?
Yes.
Okay, so now I have a choice. I can either click and drag that stroke color of gray and drop it in, and now I have added that color. And notice right now, CMYK. It's showing me this color as a CMYK color. Okay? So does everybody see how I did that? I just clicked and dragged that color right in there. Now I'm going to get the fill color and move it forward. And I don't want this. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to click on New Swatch. This is the other way to do it. New Swatch. And notice that my new swatch pops up and it is C0, M100, Y100, K100, 0. And there's my color red. See it?
Uh-huh.
And it's a process color. So I'm going to hit OK, and now I have that red. So that one is done. So do you understand how you can load colors in?
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
So I'm going to very quickly do a few more of these. I'm going to click on that one, and I'm going to drag that one in. And then I'm going to click on the orange, and I'll drag the orange in. So what I'm doing essentially now is I'm building my color palette from the project that I built here. That's really what I'm doing. And this color palette will be the correct color palette for my project. And what I'm recommending that you get used to doing is this basic process, which will then enable you to put colors in here that relate to the job that you're doing. This is part of the production techniques that I wanted to go over with you this course. So here now I've almost got it done. I actually think I do have it done. Yeah, I'm back to red. So now what I have are all the colors of my circular color chart. See what I did? Does it make sense? Any questions? Does anybody want? Does anybody need?
I got a question. You click on the color first, and then
I select my color.
where to the
And
left.
see over here? See the fill?
Uh-huh.
That's the color. I click, drag that, and drop it, and there's the color. Now I've added it again. I'm going to delete it because I already got it once in there. But you get the idea, right?
Right.
Okay. So that's essentially what you're doing. And the reason I'm doing this is because these are the actual colors that I'm using in my project. So when you work with Adobe Illustrator, what you want to do is you want to clear out your swatches panel to begin with. And you do that by coming up here and selecting all unused. You could also use this one here to add all used colors. And that's another way to do it. So there are a number of ways that you could achieve this. But the reason that I'm going to all this trouble to do this, and it actually isn't that much trouble, is so that I have a palette built of the colors that I'm using in my project. And at some point, when we actually go in to modify our logo and convert these colors from CMYK to spot colors or adding Pantone colors, I think it'll really begin to make more sense to you why I'm doing this. Any questions about this so far? Does it make sense and is it clear?
Clear for me?
Yeah?
Good.
Okay.
Clear.
All right. So that's the first thing. Now I'm going to come back to my color wheel example. And here again, see what happens? I didn't do this. Okay? So I'm not going to go to the trouble of doing what I did before. I'm going to see if I can do this another way to show you quickly. I'm going to delete that. Delete the swatches, yes. And I'm going to delete that, yes. And then what I'm going to do is come in here and I'm going to add used colors. And you see how I added all those used colors? See how easy it was to add all those used colors?
You do that one more time?
Yeah. Edit, undo add used colors. Click on this, add used colors.
Okay. I didn't see that
Right
part.
under select all unused, add used colors. I wanted to show you, the reason I went to the trouble of doing what I did, I wanted to show you there were several ways that you can go about doing this, okay? So now you got several ways that you can modify your swatches. Color is very important when you're working with this program. You're going to find this out as we work through 4 weeks of projects using Adobe Illustrator and InDesign. I think by that point, you'll begin to get a sense of how important it is. How did I come up with these colors? How I did it was I went online and I Google searched color wheel. And I found myself a nice example of color wheel, which I dragged from a bitmap from the internet. And I used my eyedropper tool to sample each one of the colors. And then I wrote down their numbers here. So I've got the actual numbers, and let me show you what I'm talking about. Here's my color.
Hexadecimal, I can't really see from here.
Can you see my color picker?
Kind of. Just can't really see the amount. Is it hexadecimal?
Down at the bottom is the hexadecimal number. And you see that number right there, ED1E24? If I put that in here, ED1E24, and click somewhere else, can you see what it did? It changed.
So that's like their value, their color value.
That's exactly what they are. I chose to use their hexadecimal color value because they were the easiest for me to put in here and demonstrate. So I used their hexadecimal value. Now, there's also being demonstrated here their CMYK value. That is the same as 0, 99, 97, and 0.
So what are you calling it? Their hexa value?
Hexadecimal. Hexadecimal means 6 digits, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4,
16.
6 digits.
16.
Yeah, they're units of 6.
Decimal.
The numbers are in unit. There are actually 16 numbers that they choose from, but they're 6 digits long. The hexadecimal numbers.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay, and then you have RGB, and you have RGB value of red 237, green 30, and B 36. Now these are the RGB is what you use for the web. The hex is what you use for the web. CMYK is what you use for print.
CMYK.
Because it was a lot easier for me to put up there and demonstrate, so it makes sense. And you can see what it did. It actually gave me the red that I was looking for.
Question. Where'd
Go
you
ahead.
get the ED at 1E24?
I got it by sampling my bitmap right there. I used my eyedropper tool to sample a bitmap of a color wheel I brought in from the web. A color wheel that showed these 12 colors. I sampled each color with that sample tool right there. And it gave me these colors. And I just chose the hexadecimal number because it was easier to deal with. Does that make sense?
It's one
Right,
copy
so
page as opposed to 4.
Well, it's just easier. Look at, to write CMYK, and put those numbers next to it, it would have been more copy. This is just much simpler to pick the hexadecimal number, and I easily get my CMYK color as well. So I just did it this way because I just thought it would be a lot easier.
Yeah,
Okay,
it does
so-
seem a lot easier.
And they all relate to the same color. The color that's being displayed under CMYK is the same red. If I move this around, watch all these numbers change as I move this around. You see them all changing?
Yeah.
See what's happening? Because each one of these little areas that I go is a different color.
Right.
Okay, so there are many, many, many colors. There's a ton of colors. So this is just a very quick idea of where we're going to be heading with this. This is not, something that you did in the first grade. This is something where we're actually beginning to take a look at Adobe Illustrator and the color picker that's in Illustrator. And by the way, this color picker is largely the same color picker you're going to find in programs like Adobe Photoshop and Adobe InDesign and even Adobe Flash. So all these programs have these color pickers that function largely the same way. So you sooner or later have to learn how to manipulate these colors. And that's where I come in. That's what this is really all about. I want to teach you some more stuff about Adobe Illustrator that relates to the programs in general to make you more adept at being able to deal with creating things on your own in these programs. Are we good so far?
Yeah.
Any questions?
I think it's pretty self-explanatory, really.
Okay, I'm closing that. And I'm going to put this aside for a minute. All right, so now I got this circle here. Here's my circle. And I want to show you something. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I created this, which is the color wheel. That's the first thing that I'm going to do. And I'm going to show you how I created this color wheel the easiest way that I can. And that is—
Did you mean to make your color wheel red?
Pardon me?
Did you mean to make your color wheel red on the outside?
It's selected. When it's selected,
okay.
highlighting in red, it's actually black. But when it's selected,
Okay.
because the layer that it's on—
I'm sorry, mine selects, when it's selected, it's blue. I'm sorry, it just kind of threw me off.
You have layers, and the layers have different colors that they demonstrate their marks on, their anchor points and line segments on.
Okay.
Okay. So the first thing that I want to do, since I have this set to a color of none and a stroke of black. Can you see over here? That's what that circle is. So what I want to do is I want to turn this into a donut first. So I'm going to do this by going Edit, Copy. And there's other ways I could do this, but I'm trying to teach you something, so I'm going to try to do things tonight in the easiest way I know how. So I'm going to go with this selected. I'm going to go Edit, Copy, right? And then I'm going to go Edit, Paste in Place. And what I did was I placed an example right on top of the one that I copied. So there's actually two of them, one sitting directly in front of the other. Everybody cool with that?
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to get the Free Transform tool. Then I'm going to grab, what I'm doing now is I'm holding my mouse down and I'm touching that corner, and I'm going to hold down the Shift key and the Alt key. I'm on a PC, so I think yours is the Option.
Option.
Yeah, and I'm going to drag this down until it looks something like that. Boom. And now what I have is I have basically a donut. And if I want to make this a donut, if I want to make this permanent, which I'm not going to do just yet, I will use the Pathfinder palette. But I'm going to leave this alone for a second. Actually, what I want to do is I want to make that line uniform. So I'm going to make it 1 point. I think that's 1 point. Yes, both of those lines. So see what I got?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now notice that I have that center point there. See that center point? I'm going to use that center point to help me get started on this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select that one in. I'm going to select that one in the front. See my center point?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to go up to the View menu, and I'm going to show my rulers. Okay. Show my rulers. So there are my rulers. I'm going to click on the top ruler, and I'm going to hold and drag out a guide. And I'm going to put the guide right down in the middle like that. Click, hold, and drag a guide and drop it down right in the middle over top of that center point. See where it is? Okay?
Yeah.
I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to click, and I'm going to drag a vertical guide, and I'm going to drag that and drop it right over the middle too. So now I got a vertical guide and a horizontal guide. All right?
So now it's crosshairs.
You're good with that?
Yeah.
I'm going to get the line segment tool. I'm going to come out to my guide right about like that, hold down the shift key, and I'm going to drag me a line segment just like that. And it is set up with a fill. Remember, I have this fill of black with no, a stroke of black with no fill, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So everything's going to come out, and I'm going to have a stroke of black and no fill. I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to go edit copy, edit paste in front, and I'm going to grab the rotate tool, and I'm going to make sure that my center is positioned at the intersection of the vertical and horizontal line, and click to place it. Can you see that there's a little circle in there indicating that that's where it is?
Yeah.
Okay. So now I'm going to come up here and I'm going to click, and I'm going to hold down the shift key, and I'm going to drag that down until it does that. And now I have a line that's going in this direction and a line that's going in that direction. And it looks a little bit like a gun sight. Okay? Everybody good?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
So what I've done now is I've actually prepared myself to divide this in half. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select that, and I'm going to select that. So now I have both of those lines selected. And I'm going to again grab my rotate tool, and notice that my rotate is in the middle. I'm going to make sure it's in the middle. And I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to hold down the, I think it's the control key. Let's see if this is right. Nope. Control key. I think it's
Maybe like 33 degrees.
Alt key. Yeah, and I'm going to go 33 degrees.
Yeah, there you go.
Let me see. Alt key 33. It's about 33.
See, math plays a part in art sometimes.
Yeah. For everybody likes
All
math, I
the
guess we're
time.
good.
That's close enough. By holding down the Alt key or the Option key, what it did was it
Where'd you go?
duplicated those lines, right?
What's with that blanket?
You guys with me?
I don't know. It was on.
Yeah.
Anybody having problems?
Yeah.
All right. Now that I have both of these guys selected, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to again hold down the Alt key, click, and drag this thing. Actually, to cancel. Control Z.
William, you're competing with somebody
I'm what?
in the background. You're competing with somebody talking in the background.
Yeah, I can hear it too.
Yep.
Everybody, got to be quiet.
Huh?
Are you guys good now?
I'm sorry. It just.
Do you need anything?
No, no.
Actually, at the time we were hearing it, yours was the only microphone going.
Okay, can you hear me? You're hearing me okay?
Still a lot of interference in the
I
background.
lost 26 pounds and I've ate so much since I've been here.
Guys, please.
Oh, then don't eat it. I got salads too.
What?
I'll leave that one alone.
Is that it? Does that help? Okay. I'm going to hold down, once again, I'm going to hold down the Alt key, and I'm going to drag a duplicate. Oh, geez. Come on. Click on it. Alt and drag a duplicate to 33. Boy. Let's see if I can get 33. I can't really get 33. I'm going to go to 31. That's close enough for, actually, it's a little bit off. So I'm going to drag it up just a little tiny bit.
Isn't there a way to use your up and down arrows to be able to get exact?
No, you can't with this. And you know
Not with
something, to be
rotate.
honest with you, it doesn't matter.
Object transform.
There you
You
go.
What you
can
do by
that.
degrees.
You can do that, but again, it gets a little bit more difficult. So you do it whatever way you want. If you want to transform it, you can transform it. However you feel like doing it. I'm going to delete these guides because I want to show you what I got. This is good enough, okay? This is good enough. So I've divided this thing up, and it's, even though it's not 100% perfect, you can play around with it and make it a little more perfect. I think you get the general idea, though. What you're doing is you're making 12 individual segments. That's really what this is all about. So whatever you want to do to make it a little bit better, you go ahead and do it. Now that I've done this, I'm going to marquee to select the whole thing, right? You know the marquee to select?
Correct.
Yep.
Everything's selected. Go to the window menu. Open up Pathfinder. And they got a Pathfinder command over here called divide. and I'm going to click on divide. And what it does essentially is it divides this whole thing up.
They should have a pizza button.
None of this has any fill in it, so I'm going to click here, drag over to there. Oh, actually, I got to go Object Ungroup. I'm going to ungroup this first. Then I'm going to drag across the middle like that, and notice how the middle gets selected. I hit delete, and there you have a wheel with the proper number of spokes. Okay? That is basically how I created my wheel. Now, what I want to do is I want to show you how to very quickly throw the colors into this wheel. So once again, I'm going to select the whole thing, and with the stroke forward, I'm going to click on gray. And now I have my gray in there. Okay? Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my fill forward, and I'm going to start by clicking here, and I'm going to bring my colors over, and with the fill forward, I'm going to click red first, and then I'm going to click on the orange, and then the orange yellow, and I think my colors got a little mixed up, but I'll try to fix it. I think it's that color, and then I think it goes to this color. I'll probably mess all this up because I think the colors got out of sync, but I think I can fix it.
Yeah, you need the yellow green first.
I think I'm actually right at this point. I might.
Nope.
No?
No.
You missed the yellow green.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let me get this. I missed it, and that.
Yeah. You need to rotate from the blue over.
One here is
go up one.
Yeah, no, that's right. And then that is that color. Whoops. And that is that color. And which color did I mix? Oh, I
the yellow green.
Yeah.
That light
You're
green
right.
color.
You're right. You're right. That should be that color.
Right.
Yeah, there you go.
Be that color. And then that should be the lighter. And then slightly darker. And then the dark blue. So you're right. I missed one. Sorry about that. And I think that's the darker one. And then the reddish one right there.
See, everybody's learning. We're good.
There you go. Okay, so there you go. Now I've got my colors in there, and you got basically a color wheel, okay? What I might want to do with this is I might just want to rotate this around a little bit so that maybe my color red is on the top. That's another possibility, is to get that color red maybe at the top. It's totally up to you how you want to do this. But there's my color wheel, okay? So that's how I created my color wheel. Go View, Fit All in Window, and there's my two pieces, okay? Now, what I want you to understand is, I'm going to zoom in on this guy right here, and I want to demonstrate a really easy way to show you how to go about making your color relationships. So the first color relationship that I have here is my complementary color relationship. This is one of the ones that you're going to have to do. So what I did was I just took my word complementary and I made it in black, and then I made my little arrow in because I knew that the arrow would not interfere too much with the word complementary. So what I need to do, though, is I need to demonstrate the relationship, the complementary relationship. And I want you to take notice of something here. I didn't show every complementary relationship. I only showed one. You only have to show one complementary relationship. I don't expect you to show all the complementary relationships, okay? So I just want you to be aware of that. It's okay to show just one to show that it's complementary. Now, what can I do to this to make this thing really stand out? So you're going to do the color wheel. Let's go View, Fit All in Window for a second. Yeah, you're going to do a color wheel that's going to look like that, right? And you're going to show all the colors, and you're just going to name the colors. So in the end, it'll look something like that. Okay, so you understand that?
Yeah.
Okay, from there, you're going to come over, View, Fit All in Window. And what you're going to do is you're going to build three others. One shows complementary, one shows tertiary, whatever the ones they ask you for, you're going to demonstrate. And let me show you a really easy way to make this work, okay?
Mr. Sweeney, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
On this wheel right here that you're showing on your screen.
Yeah.
Okay, there's going to be more than just the one arrow going from up and down. There's going to be 3, correct?
No, you're going to make 3 different wheels. One of them
Okay.
shows
That's what I was curious
complementary,
about.
one
All
of them shows tertiary or whatever the other ones are. So you're going to make 4 of them. Now, if you want, you can make 4 of them on one page, or you can
copy and paste.
Or one on each. Yeah, copy and paste, exactly. Now, I'm also going to show you a really easy way to demonstrate this complementary relationship. And this is what you're going to use because it's a simple way to do it. I mean, if you want to try something different, that's fine with me, but this is extremely easy, so I want you to see this. I'm going to go to the window menu, and I'm going to open up the transparency palette. You guys familiar with the transparency palette?
Yep.
Excuse me, yes.
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to click, and I'm going to select my colors. Okay, now this is group, so I'm going to go Object, Ungroup, or actually, again, I have my Group Selection tool. If I have something grouped, I can use the Group Selection tool to select it. And notice what I've done is I've selected all the colors on the left-hand side of this.
Your cool colors, basically.
Yeah, well, they're not part of the complementary color scheme. So what I'm going to now do is come in here and set the opacity to 30, down to 30. And there, look at that. And I'm going to do the same thing on the right, where I've got colors that are not part of the complementary relationship. I'm going to set that down to 30, and I'm going to go View, Fit, Artboard, and Window. And there you go. There's one way of doing it. So now what I've done is I've created a color wheel, which is on the other page right here. That's the color wheel. You're going to put all the names on it. Then what you're going to do is you're going to come in and you're going to demonstrate the relationships that they asked you for, one being complementary. And I recommend that you do something like this because it's just an easy way to go. And if you think 30 is too much, you can change it to say, oh, I don't know, 50. Okay, and then it's the same thing, except that maybe you can see it just a slight bit better.
So when you're doing that, are you breaking it down into basically the colors that are adjacent to each other?
Well, I'm going for the relationship in this particular case.
Right.
Complementary relationships are colors that are opposition of one another on the color wheel. So when you start reading your reading assignment, it'll explain color relationships to you. And as a matter of fact, I believe I actually put some documentation into my announcements that also tell you all about these color relationships. So you should have really no trouble in the end coming up with the appropriate color relationships if you read the information and follow the directions that I'm showing you right here.
Okay.
Is this fairly clear to everybody? Has anybody got a problem with this? What do you think?
That's why I'm asking questions. I was just curious about how everything's...
No, it's fine. You can ask. I mean, that's why I wanted to keep you unmuted so that you have the interaction with me. You can actually ask as we go along. That's really what this is all about.
Right.
What I'm getting at is, are we clear enough with what I'm doing here that you guys can go and really try to do this on your own? Does anybody see a problem or issue? I don't.
No issues. We're good.
Some people are muted. You should,
We're good.
okay.
Yeah, we're good.
Hello. I'm looking at your color wheel. I'm kind of confused how your colors are set up because when I was taught that, I thought like orange and purple were complementary colors, and you've got like yellow and purple across from each other.
Yeah, the colors that are across from each other on the color wheel are the complementary colors. So purple and green would be complements.
But I thought, no, see, that's not how I was taught when I'm sorry. I'm just kind of trying to go back when I was actually in my art classes.
Well, forget about that for now and take my word for it at this point and read.
Okay, so in your design class, this is complementary.
Well, it has nothing to do with being my class. This is what the complementaries are. Red and green complement one another. Blue and orange complement each other, or that light blue and orange complement. Yellow and blue complement each other. Purple and yellow, blue, that's actually blue-orange.
I was going to say.
Yeah. So in other words, if I go back to this, let me go back to this because this is actually clearer. Okay. So you see red-orange is complemented by blue-green. Yellow-green is complemented by red-violet. Red is complemented by green. Yellow-orange is complemented by blue-violet. So a complementary color is any color that sits opposite of another color on the wheel. So if you're dealing with red and you want to know what the complement is, it's whatever's on the other side of it, which is green. Now, a split complement, let me explain quickly what a split complement is, since we're talking about complements. I have green over here. The complement of green is red. A split complement is whatever colors lie on either side of the complementary color. So red, orange, and red, violet are split complements of red and green. So if you're going to use green and you want to split complement it, you're going to use red, violet, and red, orange.
Or blue, green, and yellow, green, right? For red?
Using red as your space.
I'm sorry, what?
We'll take red. The semi-complement would be blue, green, and yellow, green, correct?
Yeah. Or if you're going with blue, violet, instead of orange, yellow, it would be orange and yellow. So blue, violet would be yellow, and orange would be your split complements. Okay. So again, what it comes down to is the complements oppose each other on the color wheel. A split complement is taking a complementary color and choosing one color to split the complements, and that would be the red, violet, orange, green. Or if we go the other way, choosing the red, it would not be the green, it would be the blue, green, and the yellow, green. That's essentially what the split complements are. And you will show these relationships in your assembly of your color wheels. And again, don't just take my word for it. When you go in, read the information, and you'll see why I'm saying what I'm saying. This is not something that I'm dreaming up. I'm not making up my own sense of what a color wheel is. This is not me. This is fact. And you should be able to easily see this when you go in and start reading through the book and looking online to see what they tell you. Okay? Because again, this is where I got my initial colors. I went online and did it, and I did a lot of the work. I tried to do as much of the work for you as possible so that to make it as easy as I can for you. I mean, that's ultimately where I'm going with this. Trying to make something that you can quickly do. So you can be creative with this if you want, or if you want, you can more or less do what I did here and come up with something very similar. Okay?
Why did you get her to take you there before you left?
Everybody.
What time is it?
Everybody understand me so far? Any questions about this?
Did you mute me on purpose because I'm no fun?
What?
No.
What happened? Oh,
Not sure.
That wasn't
mute.
I thought she was asking me something.
She asked if she's no fun. We don't know.
She muted right afterwards, so I think it was.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so basically,
on the kitchen table.
do you guys understand? Do you understand
And
what I
there
did?
and back, and I mean it. It is 9:08. You're going to Speedway and back.
Sally.
I'm sorry.
Get him.
I want to go to Gomart.
Guys, please,
I am so sorry.
Guys, gotta be careful. I'm telling you, because this is all being recorded. And you know what? Matter of fact, I don't know whether I even.
I think it's stupid. They cut him down 2 hours though.
Okay, I think it's recording now. It looks like I got.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, we're good.
I think we're okay.
Oh, yeah.
Your desktop sharing is paused.
Huh.
Well, we're seeing it move.
I think I'm recording.
You're moving. You're recording.
Good.
It shows you recording on my screen.
Okay. I think I am. I'm going to go with it. All right.
Let's go.
Okay, guys, listen. Let's get back to this. Are there any questions? Are there any questions about this?
I hear an echo.
Yeah.
Any questions about this part?
No.
Any questions
I
about
want to hear it. Echo. Only my notes.
So if there's no questions about
Oh, you got to start it again.
no questions,
No, not yet.
this is the second part of the process. Now, notice what I have here. I have
Oh, that's
four.
cute.
I have four pages, 4 artboards. Here's my artboard palette, and I have hexide, analogous, complementary, and tertiary. Okay, so does everybody see that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so what I did, I started off by creating my color wheel, and I'm going to zoom in. Let me go to the hex sign. I think it's the hex sign. There it is. Okay, so this is the hex sign. And the first hex sign, I've taken my color wheel, and I've set it up so that it is primary color. And that is red, yellow, and blue. Those are the 3 primary colors. Now, the reason that I chose, this is where I'm saying to you that I want you to be creative. And you may or may not think that this is creative. But what I did was, where I live up here in New Jersey, I noticed that all over the place there are these wonderful hex signs. And generally they use these hex signs with white and black and primary colors. So I thought, gee, what a great thing. I could use one of the designs for a hex sign to demonstrate the different color relationships. So that's one of the ones that I did. So I actually came in here and I created this one. And I've created these 3 chips so that I can show you, what colors I'm using aside from this. And then I created my 3-color composition using those primary colors in much the same way as you would see in this hex sign. So does that make sense so far?
Yes.
Yeah. Now I'm going to move over to the
but why is it called a hex sign?
What?
Why is it called a hex sign?
It's actually
Dutch floor.
keep evil spirits out of barns.
Oh, okay. Because
it's Pennsylvania Dutch. I think one of you guys said you live near Pennsylvania Dutch.
No, I live near Amish. If you take the red, blue, and yellow pointed, I don't know what you call those things, to the edges of the circle.
Yeah.
It is actually a quilt design.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they are based on quilt designs as well, but you see them on barns everywhere. And this is just one of the many ones that you do see. And I thought this was a really ideal way to show color relationships. Now, I want to quickly show you. This is a color relationship. Analogous. Analogous basically is where you're using one of the colors with the colors on either side of it. So any one of these colors that I could pick, that color right there with that one and that one would be analogous. That color right there with that one and that one would be analogous. That color with that color and that color would be analogous. But in my case, those 3 right there are analogous. So what I wanted to show you was how easy it is to come up with this. I've created 4 artboards. Go to the View menu, fit all in window. I've created 4 artboards. I created the one original, and I've duplicated the original 4 times on each one of the artboards. And then what I've done basically is I've created an analogous color scheme, a tertiary color scheme, and a complementary or a split complementary, okay? Or you could also change the hue, saturation, and brightness of one of your colors. And I'll show you how to do that in a minute. So so far, are you okay with me, what I'm doing here? I'm starting off by making 1, and then I'm duplicating it to make 2, 3, and 4, and then I'm going to change their colors, and I'm going to show you how to do that right now. Okay? Everybody with me?
Yeah.
So far.
All right. So we'll go back to the hex real quick. There's the hex. And now I'm going to go to analogous. And notice that the only thing that's different about this is that I have these 3 colors right here. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get my regular selection tool. I'm going to
So each one of these sections are 3 colors.
Each one of these things will show 3, except for one, which will show 2. And I'll show you how to deal with that in a minute. Each one of these show 3. And that's the reason why I did this. Okay, so here's the deal. This is red, but notice that in my analogous color scheme, the red already exists. So I can leave that alone, right? I don't have to change it.
Right.
Okay. Sure. Yellow, though. Click on the yellow. Now, here's the deal. There's an easy way to deal with this. By clicking one of these things, I can go up to the select menu. You guys remember what's in the select menu? And I'm going to come down and I'm going to choose same fill color. And you see what it does? It selects all the
It
same
also
fill
selected
color?
things from the first from the hex sign one.
What?
It also selected the heart and the hex sign one.
Right.
Yeah,
the
I
same
know.
fill menu.
I know. So
Same.
here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go view, fit artboard in window. I'm sorry, view, fit all in window. I'll show you how to deal with that. I'm going to select that, and I'm going to go object lock selection. And then I'm going to come down here,
Thank you, buddy.
object lock selection, and then object lock selection. Now I can
Okay, cool.
only select, select same fill color, and that's the only one that will select. So did you see how I did that?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Yay.
So back to analogy. Okay, so here's the deal. We're going to leave the red alone because red is part of the analogous scheme, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to click on the eyedropper tool, and I'm going to click on the orange, and it's going to throw the orange in there. However, because it is got a stroke on it, it's also going to give me a stroke of gray, which I'm going to now click and bring it forward and hit none. And then get my regular selection tool and click on the
Same as blue, make it violet.
and then go select same fill color, and all of that selects. And then I'm going to come back here with the eyedropper tool and click on the purple and make sure that I remove the stroke from around it. And there you go. Look at that. There's
Okay, and then we just
I'm going to go view, fit all in window. Watch this. View, fit all in window. There we go. And now you have your, you got your primary colors, red, yellow, and blue. And you've got your analogous. And now let's go to do the tertiary. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to lock this so I don't change it. Object, lock, selection. And this here now, what I'm going to have to do is, this is going to be a little tricky. I guess I'm going to have to go object, unlock all. Yeah. All right, so I got to lock these again. Object, lock, selection. And then I'm going to lock this one as well. Object, lock, selection.
Okay, when you're selecting those to lock them, can't you just hold down shift and you can click on each one?
Yeah, you can do it any way you want. You can do it any way you want. Now this one here is the tertiary, so I'm going to double click on the tertiary to bring it up. And what I'm going to do again is I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to go select same fill color, and then click on this, add the color, and remove the stroke. And then I will come over here and I will click on that one, select same fill color, and click on the green. And so really, whatever you decide to do, you're just going to make me 4 of these things, okay, which is what I'm doing. And select same fill color. Click on the purple. There you go. View, fit all in window. And there they are. This is what they're going to end up looking like, something like this. You getting the idea?
Why is it not actually choosing the parts of the color wheel when you're doing that?
Because what it's doing is it's selecting the color that I have on the color wheel, and actually the color wheel has a fill and a stroke on it, so it's sampling whatever's there. So
not why is it changing to that color, but why is it not selecting it when you do the select all of that fill type?
I'm not sure I understand your question. I'm confused. But what are you saying? It is selecting. I'm choosing this right here, and it's selecting this
On the color wheel itself.
because they're different colors. This isn't the same color. These colors I added to this. They were this color to begin with. So it's not selecting color wheel until I apply it. Is that what you're asking?
I'm guessing that when we go to the next one and you select the blue, I'm wanting to know why the blue of that color wheel is not being selected as well.
Because he locked it. Because he locked the other wheel.
No.
Yeah.
The color wheel itself, when you're in the page and you
Okay.
And
All right, let's try the last one and see. So I'm going to now go in here, object, unlock all, and I'm going to select these guys up here, object lock, and this one will lock. And the only reason I'm locking these is so that they don't change. Object lock selection, and now we got this last guy down here, and let's see how we can deal with this one. Okay, so we start off by clicking on the red, and the red is fine. Now we'll click on the blue, and we're going to change the blue to green. So we click on that, and oh, you know what? I forgot a step. Select
the part that I was curious about.
Same fill color, and then I'm going to click on the green, and there is green. Now, what we might want to do with this is we might want to actually mess around with the hue, saturation, and brightness on this. So if I click on the yellow, because there's no yellow in there, and I go select same fill color, right? Now I got them filled, and it's green or red. So if I want, and remember now I didn't load these colors in here, so what I'm going to have to do is come over here and choose this and pick my color from somewhere like here. So let's say I'm going to go with red. Click on red. Now I got red. So what I'm going to do now is
I see green.
That's called green.
Yeah, I was going to say I see green.
Yeah, green. I'm sorry, green. So the other thing that I want to do now that I have this in here is there is what is known as hue, saturation, and brightness. Now, this is the hue slider. Hue means color. You'll see this when you get into your books and your discussions. You'll see what I'm talking about. This is the hue slider. All these are different colors. They're also different hues. Hue means color. Saturation. Saturation is the amount of color that there is. So if I click there, see that little circle there? If I click that circle and drag it all the way over, that's a fully saturated color. And if I come over here and I drag it all the way over here, that is a completely desaturated color. And then brightness. Brightness means the amount of light in the color. So up here it's completely bright, and here as I go down, I get darkness. So it's hue, saturation, and brightness. Guys got that?
No, not exactly. What's hue again?
Hue means color. Hue and color means exactly the same thing. Hue is equal to color. So whenever you look at all these different colors, you're looking at all the different hues. Hue means color. Saturation means the amount of the color or the lack of the color. So while I'm over here, I am fully saturated. As I go over here, you notice I'm getting to where I'm almost in white. That is desaturated. And then brightness, this is the bright, rich color, and this is adding black to it until it becomes darker and darker. So it's hue, saturation, and brightness. And guys, check it out. Look right here. Hue, saturation, and brightness. HSB. It's one of the color modes that you will be asked about in your exam. Does that clear it up for you at all?
Yeah, thank you.
You good? So we hit OK. And notice now what I did basically was I created a variation of one of my complementary colors. Now, if I wanted to, I could go with a split complementary color as well. Remember what a split complementary color is? That color right there and that color right there. Those are my split complementary colors. So that's another way. You could either go with hue, saturation, and brightness, or you could go with split complementary. In the end result, I'm going to fit all in window. In the end result, whatever you do creatively, I want to see something that looks like this, where you're showing me the primary colors, analogous, split complementary, or a complementary with either a hue or a saturation. I'm sorry, not a hue, but saturation or brightness adjustment. That would be fine. And then over here, the tertiary colors. Okay? And I don't care that you use the same colors that I use. You could use any analogous colors that you want. It's totally up to you. Are we good with that?
Yes.
Yeah.
So far.
I got one more. Have any of you ever heard of Piet Mondrian?
Whoa.
Yes.
Have any of you ever heard of Piet Mondrian?
No.
He was a painter, and he painted these geometric paintings. They always look something like this, and they generally always used primary colors. So I'm going to, again, get my, did I shut it? I guess I did. Window, artboards. No, it's out. Where's my artboards? Why am I not seeing them? Here
You hit it.
No, I did hide it? No.
It's over to your right.
There it is. Okay, you're right. It pulled out. Okay, so now I have my, now this is not it. Now I shut it. Window art.
No, it's all the way over to your right.
Just click on it and it should pop up.
I don't see it.
No, it's off of your
It's off
off to the
it's
side.
underneath your Photoshop.
How are you
folder.
guys see? I ain't seeing it.
I'm not seeing it in mine. I'll get it back. Window artboard. Here we go. Boom. There it is.
Are you guys seeing this in a different way?
It's over here. I see it now. It is behind. There it is.
Oh, okay, never mind. I'm good.
Okay. So anyway, what I want to show you is I'm going to click on Mondrian first, and I want to show you that, get this out of the way. What this guy does primarily is he works with these primary colors. So I really did the same thing. I went in and I went online and I found one of the Piet Mondrian paintings. Now this is just how I would do it. You guys can do it any way that you want, of course, but the point is that it's totally up to you how you go about doing it. I would like to see you do something creative to show these color relationships. So here I'm working with red, yellow, and blue. And again, what we're going to do here is we're going to move over to this one. Now I've clicked on different analogous colors, but it's the same basic process. And I just want to explain a little bit more about this process to you. This color, when I click on it, notice that it's just a blue fill with no stroke. Now all these other blues out here were made using the exact same blue. So really all I have to do is go up into the select menu and select the same fill color, and it selects all those colors. That's the whole point. If I come over here and click my color, I can swap the color out, and then I'm going to select the next color and go to the select menu the same, and of course it's a fill color, and then I'm going to select the other color. I don't know how I ended up getting, oh, now my colors are changing.
Yeah, that's what I was worried about before.
Yeah.
Did you lock
Yeah,
your
I didn't lock that. This I didn't lock. So I have to lock it. Let's go back and lock it. Object, lock, selection. That should do it. Okay. So let's try it again. Click on that, click on that, click on that. Boom. And because it's locked now, it's not going to give me. Oh, no. You know what? I forgot. Select same fill color. I bet you guys thought doing this teaching stuff was easy. It's not. There you go. Okay. So now we got it. And now we'll click on this one and click on that and come down.
Wait.
Whoop. Yeah, you're right. Select same fill color. What's really difficult about doing this is concentrating on talking to you guys and remembering what it is that I'm doing. This is the kind of thing that when you do this work, you should really be paying pretty much close attention to what you're doing and not trying to talk to other people. So when you're talking to other people, it gets you get confused easy with this. So now I got my third color. Come in here and click on that.
No. Okay.
Same. Yep. Same. Fill color. And then click on that. And there I've created that composition. Now, unfortunately, watch what's going to happen here when I go view fit all in window. See? So I'm going to go file revert, and I'll revert the whole thing back. And it'll come back, and there it goes. So what I'll now do is, so I keep myself from having this problem again, I'm going to go object lock selection, and then I'll come down to this one right here, which is my tertiary, and I'll lock that object lock selection. And let's work on this guy. This one here I want to lock as well. Remember we had that problem, object lock selection. And let's zoom in on the, what was that one? That's the complementary. Yeah, so let's zoom in on that. Let's see what we can do with this. This one we'll do a slightly different way. What I think I'm going to do with this is, instead of using complementary, I'm going to unlock this, all right? Or, you know what? I think what I'll probably do is I'll probably try to do it without locking it. So I'll click on this blue one first. and I'm going to go select same fill color. And I've got all them. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a split complementary this time. Let's see if this works. I'm going to click on that and see how it gave me the orange. Although the orange is partially transparent. We'll fix that in a minute. And then I'm going to click on this.
Kind of neat looking though.
Huh?
Kind of neat looking transparent.
Yeah, it is kind of interesting looking, but really what's going on with it is it's partially transparent. So if I go to the window menu and go to transparency, you can see what it is. It's got an opacity of 50%. So if I bring it back up to 100%, it's orange. So that's the step that you'd have to do to fix that. It's not that big of a deal. Or, I mean, if you like it, you can leave it at 50% orange. I don't really care one way or the other. Then the other thing that we're going to do is we're going to select the yellow here, and we're going to go select same fill color. And this one, let's see, I guess we'll go with the green on it. Let's go with the green on that. And then what we'll do is, what the last one here, the last one is the red, right? So click on the red and select same fill color. And that one here is going to be a split complementary. So that means that we're going to have to come up here and do that. And I guess for some reason, let's go edit, undo. I don't know whether I got that. Select same fill color. It's not selecting the reds for some odd reason. I don't know why, so I'm going to just click on them to get them selected. For some reason, it's not selecting the red. The color might have changed subtly. That's maybe what the problem is. So now I got them selected. Now I can come in here and I can click on this and it should change the color. There we go. Okay, so there, if I view, zoom, fit this art, fit all in window, there we go. You can now see what we got. Okay, so you understand what's going on with this right now. These colors are semi-transparent colors because the color wheel has them as semi-transparent. So if I wanted to make them fully opaque, all I'd have to do is select same fill color and change the transparency on it to 100%, and it comes back and you've got your transparency. And you
Can't you just marquee select that artboard and make them all 100%?
I don't know. You know, actually, I never really thought about it. Control Z. Let's see if we do that. If
You
that
still have the color wheel locked, so that shouldn't.
try it. Let's try it. Let's try it and see. There you go. So actually, yeah, it did work. It did work. Now the only thing is, I'm noticing that my colors. You see the little gray lines? Let me zoom in and show you something. Look what happened when I did that. See, I got my gray lines in there. See them?
Have to remove them.
Yep. And that's because, yeah, so what we'll do is we'll select same, or you know what, actually, let's see here. Actually, I think we could do this, and then I can just deselect that one right there, and then I can bring the stroke forward and hit none. And that should do the same thing.
Yep.
There you go. So view, fit, all in window, and there you have my my Mondrian. So, you know, I chose this guy, this painter Mondrian, for my demonstration of the color. And now the last thing that I want to do with this is I want to show you how you're going to send this to me. So now that you've done this, you have 4 artboards. Here they are, right there. Okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to send this to me as an Adobe PDF. So I'm going to go up to the File menu, and I'm going to go Export, and down here, Save As Type. See it? Click and drag it down to, let's see, where are we at here? Where are we? Photoshop PDF. Where is it? Cancel. I think it's actually File Save As. I think it's actually File Save As. There we go. And yeah, there we go. Adobe PDF. All right? Adobe PDF. I'm going to sit it on my desktop, and it's the Mondrian. I'm going to call this Bill Sweeney, ASSIGGNNENT assignment _. So what you're going to do is you're going to send it to me, your name, assignment number 1. your name, assignment number 2. Assignment number 1 being the color wheel, assignment number 2 being the color relationships. Okay, so you got that? Good?
Yeah.
Good.
Do you want a week indicator in there?
The what?
So next week we don't end up saving over.
Yeah, you could do that. You could put the week 1, week 2. Yeah, absolutely. So hit save, and then I get my, come on. Yeah, I get my Adobe PDF dialog box. I am going to be talking to you in length about this save as PDF because part of the instruction this week is to learn how to prepare artwork to go to a printer. But in this particular case, this is more of a demonstration. So right now, what you have here, the way you see it, where it says Illustrator default, and then these standards set the way they are, and the options of preserving Illustrator editing capabilities, and all this stuff, I think you can pretty much leave alone. Essentially what it's telling you is it's using whatever default method for saving this PDF that Illustrator has. I don't know how much you know about this. Has anybody talked to you about this in any of your other classes?
Only ever dealt with this type of stuff at work.
Okay. Well, this class primarily is about this stuff, so we're going to be talking about this in the next 3 weeks to come along in greater depth, and you're going to learn about these different settings over here, and you'll learn a lot more about what's going on with this. But for now, the most important thing is that up here you know that there's different settings. And we're going to stay with the default for now because this is just something you're sending me that I can check. The preserved Illustrator editing capabilities you're going to want to keep. But you're going to want to make sure that, let me hit cancel. Wherever you have type, see where I have type there? Watch me go object unlock all. See that type right there? Check this out. This is important. See that type right there? Everybody see that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, this
Yep.
is critical. This is critical.
Yep.
I may not have on my computer's a PC, yours is a Mac. I might not have the same text that you have. And I actually put a video for you to look at that shows you the same thing I'm about to show you. But I want to make sure that you understand how we do this so that you can do this and we don't run into a problem. So that I don't have an issue when I open your file up if I decide to open it up in Adobe Illustrator to check it, which I often do. What you want to do is you want to turn this, which is live text. You can always tell when text is live text because it has an underline on it. See it?
Yep.
You're going to go up to the type menu and you're going to go create outlines. And what you've done by creating outlines is you've made this no longer text. You've just converted into a series of graphic shapes. So you want to make sure that wherever you have text on anything, I'm going to go to View menu, Fit All in Window, and I'll select all of these. I'm shift selecting all of them, and even that. If I want them to show up, and I'm going to go type, create outlines, and it will create outlines on all that text. And then what will happen is when you send it to me, I will be able to open it up and it will be perfect because the fonts are, in effect, no longer fonts. They're just graphic shapes. They look exactly like the text, but they are not editable anymore. So that's very important that you understand to do this so that
Vector editable as opposed to text editable.
Yeah, so in other words, if you don't do this step, I may not have the font, and I'm going to get an error message telling me that I can't display that font, and it's going to change the way your graphic looks. Now, where it's not that big of a deal in this particular exercise we're working on, in the next 3 weeks, it's going to be a very big deal because you're going to be building a business card, and that business card has to look right. And if you build a business card in Adobe Illustrator, which some of you might choose to do, if you send it to me, you can't package like you can in Adobe InDesign. You can package, you can't package in Adobe Illustrator. So you have a choice. You can either send it to me as a PDF and I then can't open it up in Illustrator, or you have to create outlines for the version that you send to me. we'll talk more about this later on. The important thing for me right now is to just make sure you understand that what we want to be able to do is make sure that the text that you send to me will display on my machine. So is that clear? Do you got it?
Yep.
Okay. Any questions at all about any of this?
Nope.
Okay. So let's go back real quick. File, save as, and change it from the format of an Illustrator to a PDF. And I'm going to set it on my desktop. And again, like I told you, I'm going to put Bill or B Sweeney. And then this is and maybe PT _2, assignment part 2. And yes, if you want, you could put week 1, whatever you want. I'm just going to put this for now. I think you get the idea, though, right? What you need to do is make sure that I know who it is that this is, because I may save these things. We may have a critique later on, and you might want me to be able to know who the assignment is from if we do the critique. So I hit save, and it'll take a second. And I'm going to leave the defaults for now. We'll talk more about this later. Save PDF. And it should automatically open. See if it's going to. And it's not going to. Maybe I can double click to open it. Here we go. So what you end up with is, because we did this on individual artboards, you end up with 4 pages. Look at that. There's page 1. There's page 2. There's page 3. There's page 4. See? And isn't that nice and neat and professional looking? And that's the whole point of this, is that we want to be very professional looking. Any question about this PDF?
Nope. No.
Guys good with all this? Any questions at all about any part of the assignment that you're going to be doing? Anything?
My notes that I took early when you were talking about what the assignments were.
Yeah.
For some reason, I have down 8 by 8, and that wasn't 8 by 8. So what was 8 by 8 about?
That's the size that they're telling you to make it. So I would say you make it 8 by 8, but you don't have to. You can make it another size if you want. I won't complain if you make it a different size. I didn't make mine 8 by 8 because I created this image that came from a Mondrian painting. And in order to do that correctly, I needed a shape that represented the shape of the original painting. So I decided to make mine a little different size. I don't have a problem if you make that different size, as long as you're doing it for a particular reason.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Are you guys good with everything so far?
Yeah, we're good.
I only had one question, though, as far as, like, with the color wheel like, analogous and complementary colors. Does it have to be, like, just a simple geometric design, or can we just go ham and get creative with it?
I would caution you about that. And the only reason I say that is because in the end, it has to be clear that what you're presenting is a color wheel. So I want to say yes.
No, not the color wheels themselves. The designs.
What,
like where you showed the
second part?
Yeah, the second part.
Yeah, I mean, I would like you to have fun with it.
Okay.
No.
I'm like, what are you talking about? Like making doing something other than a circle, or what?
Yeah, like I just don't want to do like simple geometric shapes.
You can make. Yeah. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm getting your question.
I'll email what I've got to you, and we'll go.
Guys, one of the examples was a underwater scene for like an aquarium, and it had the different colors shooting off to different types of fish that were that color. You know.
Okay. Yeah. No, you can do. I'm saying I want you to be. I want you to be creative. I definitely want you to be creative. The one thing that I want, though, is I want you to clearly represent the color relationships. That's important. And I would like you to be very careful about how you present the color wheel. So where you can get crazy and a little bit wild with it, fine. But remember, it's a color wheel, and the object of the color wheel is to make sure that people understand the color relationships of the 12 colors in the color wheel. Okay?
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I think you guys will get it once you see the actual reading assignments and the things that we got to look at.
Yeah.
Because they have some really cool things to look at that were not just a basic color wheel. Because like I said, one of them that stuck in my mind was the aquarium scene. And it had these little round bubbles going from the middle all the way out. And it was just really neat. You'll
Well,
see it.
what I'm saying is I'm saying I would like you to be creative. I have no problem with that. I'm looking for you to be creative. But I just want you to remember that the objective is to make a color wheel. So whatever you're doing, make sure it expresses the concept of a color wheel. If you go and do it in a very wild and unusual way, no problem at all. But just keep in mind what your objective is, which is to demonstrate a color wheel. The second part of the objective is to somehow or other demonstrate those color relationships. So I'm trying very hard not to put any, I don't want to put any limits on your creativity. The only thing I'm saying is that keep in mind what the true objective of the two are. And that's all.
I guess we're at a point to where it's not necessarily the simple part, it's the challenging part. Like, okay, the challenge of making a color wheel, it's there. But let's make it more interesting by making it, okay, you gotta make this color wheel based on a superhero or into some type of immaculate design.
I want you to make it your own. I do. I definitely want you to make it your own. I want you to have fun with it. One of the first things I said to you in the class was I'd like you to have fun with this. So yes, I want you to have fun with it. I want you to do a good job, and I just want you to keep focused on the idea that the two parts of this are, number one, the first part of this is to demonstrate in whatever way you see fit as a creative person, the relationship of those colors, the 12 colors in the color wheel, however you do it. And then the second part of it is that you are going to be working with those color relationships. Creatively, you're going to come up with some way to demonstrate those relationships. That's all that I'm looking for. And as far as the rest of it goes, I'm anxiously waiting to see you guys have fun with this and submit great stuff to me so that I can get a big smile out of the whole thing. I'm looking for it.
I had a question.
Yeah.
So basically throughout everything, there's going to be a cool color, a hot color, a neutral color, and like a two-sided color, really. So, I mean, if you want to do say you want to do a beach layout, you can do each one.
That's not what you're saying is not exactly correct, because what they're telling you is that there are color relationships. Split complementary, they're looking for complementary, they're looking for tertiary. You'll read when you go in and you read your information, you'll see what they explain about them. That is somewhat true what you're saying, but there's an actual color relationship that they're asking for you to show. And I demonstrated those relationships. The relationships that you're asked to show are the ones that I showed in my examples.
Correct.
So whether you choose different colors than me or not is fine. It's just that those are essentially the color relationships that you're asking, and they should be correct. So in other words, you need to, if they're saying you want a complementary color, then you have to be certain that the colors you're choosing are opposing each other on the wheel somewhere. It doesn't matter which color oppositions, as long as they oppose each other on the wheel, because that's what the complementary is. You need to be correct, whatever you choose to do.
Okay.
All right?
Works for me.
Are we all good?
Yep.
Okay, so it's now 9:50. The other part of this is your test, your exam, and they're going to ask you questions that involve who developed color. They are going to ask you how the eye visualizes color. I'm giving you some idea. They're going to ask you to give relationships of color. There's like 5 relationships of color that they're going to ask you for. Then they're going to ask you for things like what did they ask? Geez, I don't even remember now off the top of my head. They're going to ask you a series of questions that you're going to give one line answers to. And I think somebody said in here the best way to do it is to open up the chapters, have the chapters open when you do it. I think that's probably a very good idea. But the other thing I wanted to point out is that you probably should also have your internet open, because what can happen is you can actually look it up on the internet and it will give you very good answers.
Okay.
That's the other option. And you guys remember now, I mentioned earlier in the evening, they changed the initial question for your discussion. So make sure that you understand that when you go in, and anybody that's already put their discussion for week 1 in is fine. Don't worry about that. All right? So that's what we're going to be doing this week. That's what you need to be doing. Remember, I put into the announcements, I put in a lot of stuff that'll help you. I understand that you've got correct links to your to the videos, and you also have downloadable resources that are working. I checked it all out this afternoon, and they should all be working for you. So aside from the stuff that I put into the announcements, there's some stuff that you can go and get to support what you're going to be doing this week. And if you have no other questions, I guess I'm basically done, and I will release you for tonight.
All right.
I think I'm good.
Everybody happy?
Yep.
Okay. Did I do all right with this? You guys, was it clear enough for you? I know I stumbled a little bit, but as I say, focused and talk to people at the same time.
It was good.
I think I like this way of doing it better, because at least you get everybody's input instead of, okay, the teacher's telling you how to do it. Okay,
Yeah.
This is how you do it. There ain't no other way to do it. You don't get
Well,
no other.
when something comes up, as we're working on a project, if something comes up, there's an immediacy. You guys can actually call out right at that moment, and then we can kind of address it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I like about this. I mean, where we all get to talk to each other.
And you notice you notice how everybody is quieted down. Everybody's quiet. There's nothing happening in the background. This is perfect. If we could do this all 4 weeks, this will be a great mod. Because again, I can hear you guys talking. I can answer your questions as they come up. It's nice and clean and quiet. It was a little bit rough at first, but you can see now if I stop talking, it's real quiet, isn't it? Nice.
Yes, can hear your keys. That's great.
This is lovely. So, I mean, this is what I want. I want to be able to talk to you guys. You're my students. I don't want to be talking for 2 hours and not be able to interact with you. I think this is wonderful. And I also want to tell you that I'm very happy to see all of you that came tonight. I have a nice group here. I'm very happy that you all came. And I hope you keep with me. One final thing before we go. I'm going to alert you now early. I would like to, sometime around the 3rd or 4th week, I would like to do what's known as a critique. So I'd like you to keep that in the back of your mind.
Yeah, we know what that is.
One of the projects that you do, I would like you to submit to me for critiquing. I would basically just go over it and give you some thoughts and some ideas creatively on it, okay? It's a little early now for us to do it because we haven't done anything, but we're talking maybe 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 3rd or 4th week, okay?
All right. Sounds good.
Okay. That's it for me for tonight. Any final questions?
I did have one question.
Go right ahead.
Okay, as far as my last 3 mods,
Yep.
are you going to grade us off? Okay, basically, okay, say I do a project that's pretty much flawless the first week. Okay, and I don't do such a good job the second week. Are you going to go off the first weeks as, okay, this is the potential of the person, or are you going to go off of each week individually?
Each week individually.
Awesome.
Okay, because a lot of great.
No, I mean we're gonna go over the project each week. I'm going to demonstrate how I think the project should be done and what I need to have in the project. Because here's the thing I want you to remember. When you go in and you read what's on the site that tells you what the project is, they don't go into the real fine, deep details. That's my job. I mean, when I come into the classroom, I talk to you about some of the in-depth stuff that you need to know about it. Next week, when we start working on the business card, I'm going to explain how that whole thing works. It doesn't tell you how to do that in the site. I mean, it might talk to you about that process in the books, but I'm going to show you how it's going to be done. That's the point of having me here, so that I can give you the benefit of my experience on creating these things. So it's really important that you either come to the sessions or watch the recorded sessions so that you see what I'm adding to the mix, so to speak. Does that make sense?
Are all the classes going to be at 8 p.m. Eastern time?
Yeah, I'm gonna, yeah.
Okay, because I mean that works for me. I mean, my biggest thing is
Uh-oh.
not even this.
Picking up somebody's music and dog barking.
Is that better? I think it was Sally.
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. What was your question, quick? I'm sorry. I kind of got lost with that. What
I'm
happened?
sorry. One of the people here walked in with their cell phone trying to show me something. I shoot them out.
That's okay. I'm not mad about it. It's just that I had to shut you off. If I can see you doing it, I got to shut you off because it does.
Hey, it's no problem.
Yeah. If you guys go and listen to the recorded session, you'll know what I'm talking about. But I want to tell you this, and I'll go back to that question that you were asking me. I don't know exactly who it was who was asking that.
It was Jesse.
Jesse, give me a second. I want to just say to you very quickly that I think once we got this thing a little bit banged out correctly, it got beautiful. It's nice and quiet. This is the way it should be. Jesse, so go ahead. What was your question now?
I got to remember it. I lost all train of thought.
Jesse wants you to change the time because him and several other students have logic class immediately after this, and some of these people work.
So what do you want me to change it to?
No, not necessarily changing your time. I mean, if it was like an hour earlier.
All right, so wait a minute. Hold on. I'm saying 6 o'clock?
Mountain time, right?
Yeah, would 5 o'clock be better?
For me?
No.
No?
I got a class right before it.
All right, so it's
maybe not even.
It's going to have to be 6.
Okay, 6 o'clock your time is 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock Mountain time.
My time.
All of our time, really.
I'm on the East Coast, so I'm on the East Coast. So you guys, it's 6 o'clock. It's 6 o'clock my time. On the East Coast, it's 8 o'clock.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I got a class that starts at 5 and ends at 6.
Okay.
So I mean, I don't really have a problem with coming in here right at 6. I mean, if everybody else has got another class that starts right after this, I can come right in here at 6. If
yeah, but the problem is, I think there's a couple of people that said they had classes right after this. So
yeah, we have another class.
I know 2 or 3 of them bailed already.
Well, I know, but if you want to move your time to, you said you wanted to move yours to start at 6 o'clock our time.
Yeah, but I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
No,
I'm trying to. I'd like to leave it where it is, if that's okay.
Well, what if you moved it 10 minutes earlier or 15 minutes earlier, so they got out 15 minutes earlier? Could you do that?
5:45.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, I would consider. Here's what I'll do. I'm going to send an email to everybody saying I will change the time to 5:45 Mountain Time. Is that a problem? And we'll see what people say. And if I get too many, I will send you. So be aware, everybody that's listening to me. I haven't stopped recording it. I hope.
No, you still got a red dot.
Okay. So I'm hoping that this is recording, and if it is, I'm going to be announcing 5:45. If people have if there are too many problems, I will be emailing you guys to let you know there's too many problems. If I don't get a lot of problems out of it, we'll move it to 5:45 instead. Move it up.
5:45 Mountain Time.
Yeah, so we move it up 15 minutes, okay?
Right.
All right, I could do that.
You mean back 15 minutes?
Yeah, move back 15 minutes.
Yeah, and see, that'd be great for them because they got logic class, and that's why they all had to get out of there.
Well, we'll see. I will float that, and we'll see how it goes.
All right. Well, it was good talking to everybody.
I got a quick question.
I'm going to stop recording right now, everybody. Hold on. I'm going to stop recording now.